done.
Talking about marriage, we are talking about the marriage of football and titles. This is the first time we are putting the words a northern team in Ghana and the Ghana Premier League title in one sentence. That's because a couple of days ago on Wednesday, Wa All Stars became the first club from the three regions of the north, or indeed the northern part of the country, to win the title. Another thing that's happening this weekend and of particular interest is a relegation battle, even as we go into the final match day of the Ghana Premier League. Edubiase have already been relegated. Up to about 4 or 5 teams will be probably in contention to avoid the drop. In studio with me is Ridwan Ibrahim Asante, who has been covering the Ghana Premier League. He just returned from the Upper West region where he witnessed Wa win spectacularly. Red, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Gary.
Before you came, what was it like in Wa?
No, very huge for a small community. If Leicester won with a population of 300,000, Wa won with a population of 127,000. You know, that means the smallest town ever to win, you know, a title, you know, in Ghana. And it was huge. Everybody on his or a motorbike honking, you know, right from the stadium, leading the team, you know, to camp. You know, after that victory, almost everybody was there in the town. You know, you had all parliamentary aspirants for Wa Central being there, the incumbent himself, Rashid Pepu, a former youth and sports minister. You know, he was there, and also the MPP and likewise the PPP presidential aspirants were all there at the Malik Jabir Stadium. It was very, very huge, and you should look at the economy of Wa itself, the music industry. They've got their own superstars.
Yeah.
And at halftime, they will perform to the crowd. And guess what? You know, it's like we're in a different country. No song was played from southern part of Ghana. Every song played at the stadium was composed by indigenous rappers.
Wow.
And that was huge. It tells you how they like their own, you know, how, you know, it looks like a different state altogether running things. And it was huge for Wa folks.
Fantastic. So the title is going to Wa this time around, but they have a final game to play this weekend.
Yeah, that will be in Second D. They'll be seeking to winning, you know, the assisting game. For me, I think it's very, very small for a championship side. You know, at least 20 wins, you know, would be okay, minimum of 20, but just 16, you know, far too small, you know, for a championship side. Maybe the other interpretation would be it was a keenly contested, you know, race. You shouldn't forget second place is on 14, you know, wins as well.
We'll look at all those permutations and how competitive it's been this season, because if you look at those who are fighting for relegation, I mean, the gaps are so small, even between the teams in the top 4 and then those there as well. These are the fixtures for this weekend. All over the place there is drama, but the game we should be looking at: Liberty Professionals, Bichem United, and also that Adriana Stars Inter Allies game, especially Adriana Inter Allies. Explain to us why this game may be the kingmaker.
You know, Liberty Professionals are close, you know, to the relegation. They are in the zone itself. A win will take them to 38 points. Inter Allies also will have to win to move, you know, up, you know, the ladder. You know, they are now on 37 points.
Yeah.
You know, so a win for Liberty and a defeat for Inter Allies would mean Inter Allies will drop, you know, down, and they'll be relegated at the end of the season. So for Liberty, no negotiation about their tie. They need 3 points from that game to remain safe and hope that the other scorelines, we shouldn't forget that also on 37 points each, Techiman City and Berekum Chelsea, just in that order. So
and Techiman City and Berekum Chelsea, as we see on the leaderboard and the fixture list, are playing. So it means that game, but we understand that if Chelsea and Techiman City draw, it will be good for them.
Yes, 38 points. Liberty have got a poor head-to-head record against all these teams.
Sure.
And so when they win against Bichem United, still they will be found wanting. And that's how crucial it is for Liberty Professionals, that what they're praying for is Berekum Chelsea should beat Techiman City, and then, you know, they have the upper hand of surviving, because it looks like, you know, they want to summon every tact and wit to win that game in Dansoman against Bichem United. Bichem United are safe, very, very safe on the table, and they know that, you know, they can go in with an understrength side, and this way the PLB should be keen on monitoring, looking at how, you know, both teams will go into the game, feel their best, play against Liberty Professionals, no advantages to anybody, no favoritism, and then we can see true champions emerging, and also below the par teams being evicted.
As we can see on the screen right now, we'll show you the table. 2 teams have already been relegated. That's Hazakes and Neo Dubiasi, meaning that there is 1 more slot available. And everything Ridwan said, I mean, maybe it was in a vacuum, but now you can tell. Chelsea, Techiman City on 37 points. If Liberty win, they go to 38. But if they win and Chelsea and Techiman City draw, they'll go to 38. But because Liberty have a bad head-to-head record, they will still be relegated. And that's the way it is really in it as well. Mediama are also saying that they also need to win because they want to be in the top 4. But apart from that, this is the way it is. While All Stars winners, Aduana Stars second playing against Inter Allies. Mediama also in action in Tarkwa. It will be a good game. Heart of Oak there. They will also look to finish in the top 4. So every single game there has a story, with the possible exception of Wafa and Bicham United and Dreams, who really are safe mid-table, and they'll be
exactly.
They'll be okay.
Even for Dreams, they would like to win to move to 45 and see, that will be against Kotoko. Meaning Kotoko will drop, from the top 4, pull further away, and there's huge pressure, headache for Galka, simply because they have to now will contend with the fact that they might be playing the top 4 championship. That's the preseason, without the big boys, without Hearts of Oak and then Asante Kotoko, on the table. If Hearts of Oak are able to win, their game against New Dibiasi United, and Wafa wins, Wafa will move up, and then they'll push them a little bit down. Okay. So that'll be, if you don't get Kotoko and Hearts in the top 4, that's huge pressure. So they might, at the end of the season, be playing, a top 6 or something.
Top 6 or something. Thank you very much, Ridwan Ibrahim Asante, for that analysis on the Ghana Premier League. Now, we will now check out our second story for today, which was Baba Rahman. Yesterday, he was in action for his club in the UEFA Europa League. And guess what? He scored for Schalke 04. We see highlights of that and see an analysis of what it means for the Ghanaian since he left Chelsea. Right, so Baba Rahman moved from Chelsea, as you know, an ill-fated move to the Blues, and it seems like since he was able to get that move back to Germany, he's been used a lot more. He admitted that probably his attacking style did not do enough justice to the way Antonio Conte wanted to. And from Bonn in Germany is Stefan Bienkowski, who watches the Bundesliga keenly and also works for DWTV Sports. Thank you very much for joining us, Stefan.
It's a pleasure, as always.
Yeah, so Baba Rahman is one of our national team players. There was a lot of worry that he wasn't getting playing time at Chelsea, but it looks like things are changing for him at Schalke.
Yes, as you mentioned in the opening segment there, it seemed as though his attacking style as a fullback wasn't fully appreciated at Chelsea with the new coach. He's now moved to Schalke. I don't think this was a plan that was in long-term dealing. It just seems to have popped up over the summer, and I think it seems to work quite well. He's working with his former coach, Markus Weinzierl, who was at Augsburg, and it seems to be working really well. Schalke are a team who like to attack, and from left back, it's only been a handful of games, but so far so good.
It's been a handful of games, but one of the problems he's had since being at Chelsea was that he's not getting enough playing time. Do you think that the position he is having at Schalke is one that will be his for the rest of the season?
Well, it's interesting because Schalke initially had a decent left back inside Kolasinac, who ironically was linked with Chelsea last season before he moved to before they signed Rahman rather. He seems to have taken a backstage. Weinzierl, as I mentioned, coached Baba Rahman at Augsburg, and it seems as though he's very much, the favoured left back at the moment. Kolasinac has rather been moved to a backup position or central midfield at times. So, from what it looks like now, it seems as though Baba will be the first choice left back, and he seems to be very much part of Weinzierl's plans this season. Okay,
so into the future as well, what should we expect from him? I mean, we know that at the moment, it's a straight buy by Schalke 04, isn't it?
It's a loan deal. I believe there's probably an option to buy him.
Yeah, there's an option to buy. Do you think that Schalke will opt to get him quickly?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously it depends how he does this season, but if he can play as he has so far, they would make a really solid signing for Schalke. He's a player who's proved himself in the Bundesliga.
Okay, Stefan Bienkowski of DWTV and DW Sports, thank you very much for your time. and telling us about our national team star, Baba Rahman. We'll be having more updates on more Ghanaians abroad later on the Joy Sports Team's bulletins. I'm Gary L. Smith. Keep staying with us.